Hey everyone, RompSteel here with first game of the second round of the tournament between myself and Franatleti. He went, just like me, went to game 3 against Cirrus and came out on top. So we're a little early, but figured, might as well get started. We had the time to go, so might as well go. So I decided to do free peoples first because, I don't know, got to pick one of them to do first. So I get Kirdans and an Eds. That's not great, not terrible. Kirdans. Okay, maybe Kirdans is a great card. Because for starters, like as long as I get the elves to war, Dol Amroth is at least not going to be free for them anyway. Worn Resort and Toilet Day Without Dawn. That's a pretty good start hand. Maybe Day Without Dawn turn 1 isn't actually that helpful because it's going to be a bit before you get all nations to war. But yeah, still pretty good though. So he goes for no eyes and rolls 2, and I only roll 1 movement. That's a little bit of a bummer, but at least he only has 1 muster, so he's not getting Saruman this turn. Unless I give him a ring anyway. So he picks up a card. I think that makes sense. Because you have 2 Palantirs here, and you're maybe playing Mourn with Sora and Toil this turn, so you're definitely picking up at least 1 card. Always makes sense to do that first. So I draw a card because, I'm obviously going to move, and I can't play either of these cards. So I might as well draw a card and hope that I can use this other Palantir here to draw a card at, cycle. So I got Aimer. That's nice. Perfectly playable card. So he begins the shuffling. Yeah, so he's going to claim Old Forest Road because I don't have an H or a W here. So I can't walk an army in the way. So that makes sense. So I play Aimer here for the cycle, hoping to get Brand or Thranduil or maybe Dane, So he gets Sauron to war. I move the Fellowship. I don't get hit. And now he plays Worn with Sora and Toil. Critically, it's very smart of him to wait until after I moved, because if he played it before I moved, it might be worth it to not move, just so I could declare in Rivendell again at the start of next turn and get rid of Worn with Sora and Toil. That might be worth it. It's kind of debatable. But yeah, this way, now if I'm declaring in Rivendell, I'm wasting that movement entirely. So I muster Gondor down. Interesting. Yeah, I guess that makes sense, because if he's going here with this army, it's unlikely that he's going after Lorien and Woodland Realm at the same time. So mustering the elves down, it's unlikely I'm going to get get the elves all the way to war and be able to muster an elite in Woodland Realm before this army takes 1 step next turn to get it under siege. So I think that makes sense anyway. Oh no, I didn't muster Gondor. I mustered the dwarves. Oh yeah. I remember this now. I mustered the dwarves because this army isn't that strong, so I have some hopes that it'll kind of stall out, it'll be weakened enough that it won't be ready to take Erebor. So say he does damage Woodland Realm and get the Witch King in, then the dwarves will be active. Or who knows, maybe I pick up Wisdom of Elrond and I can get the dwarves to war and start mustering up. Okay, so yeah, he walks into Old Forest Road, shuffles that army along. Makes sense. I get a second end card, which is in Paths of the Roses, he gets Denethor's Folly and Wormtongue. Well, that's interesting in hindsight that I have 2 W's that turn and he has Day Without Dawn. So I guess in theory he could muster, he has 3 musters, so he could get Isengard and the Southrons to war. But obviously by then I'll have spent both these W's anyway, and you want to get Saruman and maybe the Witch King this turn too. So yeah, he gets Isengard down. I move and I'm safe. And he musters the Southrons down. Yeah, so he's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. Oh, that actually makes a lot of sense, because if I use a ring here and move again to kill Gandalf and hopefully use that W. Oh no, but even then, if I move and kill Gandalf, then he musters down, then I get Gandalf back. So that wouldn't quite work. But if I do something else first, then he could muster the Southrons all the way down and then take it away from me. So that's something anyway. I use this H first. Yeah, okay. Pretty standard. He plays half-orcs there. That makes sense, And then I move again. Oh, right, because he didn't have Saruman or the Witch King in play yet. So that's why I'm not even doing that ring rush to try to kill Gandalf, because I can't get him back right now anyway. As it happens, I move again, get hit, get a 3. That's perfect. That's exactly what every Free People's player wants. And get the full value out of Gandalf, and I don't get revealed. So he gets Saruman in. I muster the dwarves down another step, and he goes after Woodland Realm. So I pick up Mithril Coat here, which is that feels bad. That feels pretty bad. Not picking that up on turn 3 when Worn with Sorrow and Toil is here on my full companion, like my fellowship that's still chock full of companions. So the odds of me getting to hold it until Mordor is pretty slim. And that's really the best use of Mithril Coat is you wait for Mordor and then you draw a red tile and you get to dodge it. Like that's the highest and best use, I would say. And then we realize here that he forgot to use Worn with Sorrow and Toil on Gandalf's death there. So I chuck an Ents card because, the rest of these are decent combat effects, and obviously I want to keep Círdan's ships. I don't know. So he allocates an eye, doesn't roll anymore. I get this roll, which is a bit unfortunate. The Will of the West is obviously great because I want to get Gandalf, but no movement aside from that against one eye doesn't feel great anyway. But well, what are you going to do? So he musters it down because if he did get today without Dawn away, this Will of the West, that would be huge. But naturally, I know that that's a possibility, so I do it. I didn't actually think he had it. I thought he was just bluffing to make me spend it because, as Free Peoples, it can be nice to wait to show where Gandalf is coming. Like in case I drew into, Fear Fire Foes or Book of Mazarbul, then maybe it would make more sense to bring Gandalf in over here. So who knows? Maybe I should have drawn a strategy card first, but that feels bad when you have a full hand too. And besides, I also kind of want to play this Ents card just to weaken Isengard a bit before it gets taken away by Worn with Sorrow and Toil. So. And then we had to pause, and I think we finished later in the day. Yeah, so he carries on with plan, attack Woodland Realm to get... what do you call it? Get the Witch King in. So I play Sudden Strike here because, I don't know, like I said, I'm chock full of cards, want to spend them on something. So I get my 1 hit. That feels nice. And he takes 2 hits for the Relentless Assault and only gets 1 hit, so that's bad luck. I'm quite happy to see that, of course. And I get 1 hit back. So I'm quite happy about that. There's a chance that this will waste a bit more of his time before he's able to finish it anyway. And it gives me more time to maybe get Thranduil. So I almost pass. He's nice enough to let me take a turn. I decided to draw a card in case I get Thranduil or Brand now, because I'm not... Again, none of these, or most of these cards aren't playable. I could play Ents and Mithril, but I don't do that yet. Okay, he carries on with attacking Woodland Realm to get the Witch King. And I play no quarter here because, again, I, might get that hit and get that, and make this army even weaker. So that'd feel nice. He gets 1 hit. I get 3. That's pretty crazy because, like, his Foul Stench here brought me essentially from 3 dice down to 2. So me getting 2 hits and having played no quarter to do 3 hits is pretty crazy. See, there I said pretty crazy. I know I've said this before. I hate how predictable I am that I say the same things twice in a row. So this is another good reason why for me not mustering the elves before, because it took him these many attacks on a weak army to get the elves all the way to war. If I'd mustered the elves before, then he would have just gotten the Witch King even earlier, and this army would still be in better shape. That being said, obviously I had good luck for the combat there. So, right. So I'm just card cycling here still, just hoping for Thranduil because especially if I got Thranduil here, I might actually be able to sortie and put, because then I'd have 3 hit points to his 2, and I'd be rolling 3 dice to his 2. So decent odds of winning that fight, and then the siege is over. Then this army can muster up more for if this army does come back. So, but naturally reinforcements are on the way. The Witch King comes in. Oh, that's unfortunate. Now he draws a card, and now he draws into many kings. I guess he was hanging on to that Palantir in case he wanted to play Breaking of the Fellowship. Yeah, I don't know. So I use a ring to move here because, there's only one die in there. It feels bad to not move against it at least once. Okay, yeah, this makes even more sense in hindsight. I remember being a little puzzled by that move, but when you have many kings in hand anyway, and that's the same amount of steps if you're going to Dale. If you're going to Erebor, then it's slower. But yeah, this army probably wants to come over here and back up the siege against Woodland Realm anyway. So I picked up Spirit of Mortar. I remember being bummed that the way he took casualties, he didn't leave this as a mixed army. Like if this was one Isengard regular and a Mordor regular, then I could play that card on there. And if I got 2 hits, that would be amazing. But he wisely just left the Warg regular so that there's still leadership there. Yeah. Okay, so I'm very happy to see more movement. Yeah, and he plays many kings. Moves along. And now I'm playing these cards because I want to move a lot this turn, and I'd rather be able to take companions as hits and not lose as many character cards. This is such a weird just thing to do here. So I play Mithril Coat here, and maybe this was a poor choice. But I guess my thinking was I'm not going to make it to Mordor and get to use it there. So I might as well, like if I lost a companion, it'd be 50-50 whether I lose Ents or Mithril. And losing it and accomplishing nothing with it would feel bad. So this way, at least, if I get hit by the 2 reveal or an eye that did a few damage, then I can, skip that and take something that doesn't reveal me, hopefully, so that I can avoid cards for a while longer. That's the main hope here, is that I just stay not revealed for a while. So I move and I don't get hit. He keeps coming after me. I move again, safe again. So that's a bit lucky. 2 dice at 5, it's 5 out of 9 odds that he hits me. So I move again because, Fellowship's in good health, why not run? And he draws a 3. So that's a bit of a tough... I don't like just swallowing the whole 3 corruption, but at the same time, if I take a random companion, then I lose Mithril Coat. And I don't want to use Mithril Coat on it because I really don't want to get revealed. So that's why I did what I did. Again, maybe this is nonsense. Maybe I should have just left it unplayed. I don't know. So he attacks Woodland Realm and doesn't get a hit. And I do get 1 hit. So Woodland Realm is just doing freakishly well. So he presses, no card, finally gets the hit, but he takes another hit with him on the way out. So that, for a completely not mustered at all Woodland Realm, that did amazingly well. So I muster the dwarves all the way down to war. So I'm glad I got some value out of this mustering anyway. And he plays Shelob's Lair. Okay. So now Thranduil shows up. Classic timing. And there is another way, which is another card that's amazing to have in Mordor that I really don't want right now while Worn Restore and Toil is out. So that was mega frustrating. This game is a great argument for why if you can declare in Rivendell to get rid of it and only lose 1 movement, that might actually be worth it, because then I would have got to keep 2 of the most powerful cards in the game. But yeah, here we are. Oh, that also feels bad picking up Corsairs right after you move to West Horondor, so now if you're going to use Corsairs, you have to backtrack to Umbar, which makes it super obvious that you have it. So you can also just run naturally. So I only get 1 muster, which is a little bit of a bummer. 2 musters would have been nicer, because then I could muster 2 elites now that I've mustered the dwarves all the way to war by hand. So I don't rush to muster or to move the Fellowship, because he has to move 1 closer before I do that anyway. Like before Erebor's in danger of being put under siege. So he does threaten that. He moves the Oliphant up there. So then I put the elite into Erebor. And he moves armies closer to Gondor. Puts Erebor under siege. Always smart, if you can, to make neither of these strongholds available for when you attack Dale, so that they can't retreat there. I move and don't get hit. He plays Ring Wraiths are abroad, which I guess makes sense. Like, even if I pick up Dane, this stronghold's already really tough to crack, so you might as well try to go get somewhere that isn't that tough to crack yet. So he pivots to Osgiliath, and I play scouts here because, I mean, when else am I going to play it? Rohan doesn't look like it's about to be attacked. These guys don't have anywhere that valuable to scout to, so I might as well make sure that I get a topped up Minas Tirith, since I, don't have any musters this turn. So I keep moving the Fellowship because as long as, so this is the whole point of Mithril Coat and Stink. If I keep getting not revealed right here, this is step 9. So if I don't get revealed here, then I can move a 10th time and I can't be cruel weathered, As long as I don't get revealed here, then I'm safe from cruel weather. And I get lucky and he misses. So he gets Minas Tirith under siege. And then I play There Is Another Way here. I'm not sure why I didn't play it before. Oh, right. I didn't play it before because if I did get revealed, then I would want to use that Palantir to hide, use Strider's ability to hide, and then move again to try to get to Mordor this turn. But since I know for sure that I can get to Mordor with this last movement, and there's no cruel weather, then I play this just for the 1 corruption healing because I'm probably going to lose it to Worn with Sorrow and Toil before I get all the way down to Gollum. Like, look at this huge meat shield of companions. It's ridiculous. Okay, yeah, so he musters an Oliphant there, which makes sense because I guess the plan at this point is this army is going to run to get Dol Amroth, and then if it needs backup, this army can hit him with Corsairs. Okay, so I move again, I get hit, and I think about it. Yeah, so I use Mithril Coat to try to avoid the reveal, just so I don't get hit with that extra draw, because I want to start losing companions. You can't just eat it all as corruption, and then you're going to die. But I get revealed anyway, so, oh well, that's a bummer. So 2 tiles for, 1 for getting revealed through Moria, and the other for getting revealed into Minas Morgul, so there's the other 0 reveal and a 1 reveal. So it's nice getting those reveals out of the bag anyway. That one can hope for a faster Mordor that way anyway. And it does feel nice that I didn't have any character cards anymore. Oh, wait, but I didn't lose any companions anyway, so never mind. No opportunity for Worn with Sorrow and Toil here. And he, I think, wisely uses Corsairs here because attacking Minas Tirith put Gondor to war, so now this army can get Dol Amroth under siege, so there's no opportunity for me to muster it up. Unfortunately for him, I have Círdan and Imrahil in hand anyway, but it's still a good play because he doesn't know that. Okay, House of the Steward's pretty useless because Boromir just went off to Mordor. Orc Patrol and Olog High, both good cards too. Yeah. So I declare into Mordor, and let's see. Shelob and some eyes. So that's a fantastic roll for opening in Mordor, It's the game can be a little misleading like this because I think it's closer than it looks if you just look at the points. If you look at the fact that I'm on the Mordor track and he's only at 2 points, that's like, wow, I have such a huge lead. This is amazing. But it's not that... Like, I would say I have a lead at the moment, but I don't think it's that important because he has 3 strongholds under siege. If he cracks all of those, then he's up to 8 points. Granted, Erebor is strong and Dol Amroth has good cards to muster it, but like Minas Tirith and even Dol Amroth with Círdan played is still quite conquerable, especially with this huge army here to back them up. And there's lots of bodies around Erebor, so it's, not impossible that he could win. Probably not this turn, maybe the next turn, though. But yeah, anyway, I open with Círdan's ships because if he has, like, Black Captain Commands or Ring Wraiths or something... he used Ring Wraiths or Robot last turn. But yeah, no, if he had something where, like, he pivoted leadership and played a Deadly Strife and blew up Dol Amroth, that would feel terrible, not getting to play either of those cards. So I'm hoping that Dol Amroth, he'll be like, oh, that's, as mustard as it's going to get, and then he'll wait, and then I'll get to play Imrahil later. Because obviously you don't want to use a ring to turn a movement into something else when you're on Mordor anyway. So I figure I might as well start running before he can cycle cards and put red tiles in there. He attacks Pelargir, which makes sense. You want to wrap up Gondor anyway, so that I can't muster up more next turn. I move, get a 2, and I start... naturally I start trying to lose companions because I have no character cards to lose. Well, I have 1, but it's kind of garbage. So I lose Pippin. That's fine. He finishes conquering Gondor. I move some more, get an eye. That's not amazing, but whatever. I take a random and it's Strider, so that feels bad, but at least I got full value for him. And it feels good taking those hits companions while there's no good cards to lose anyway. So, and then he plays Denethor's Folly, which is solid card, very powerful card, especially because this army is not that powerful. So getting to play a Daylight and a Confusion here would have, that could have made a big difference. So not getting to do that hurts. Or I could spend a Will of the West on it next turn, but that also doesn't seem worth it. Okay, so he uses the mouth to attack? No. Oh, he plays Breaking and draws an eye. So that feels good for me. And I hide. And then he uses the mouth to play Hill Trolls, which I think makes sense. Yeah, that army was a bit weak, so that helps. Okay, on we go to the next turn. This is turn 7, so this is a pretty fast game anyway. That turn 7, I might dunk the Fellowship. And these rolls are just beautiful for me as free peoples because I want to run, so not many eyes in the box is nice, and all these Palantirs is nice because that means that he probably can't even finish conquering. He most likely can't get to 10 points this turn, and maybe not even next turn because of how slow this is. So he says GG, and I go on the off chance that he was actually conceding, because that would be nice for me, of course. So I decided to run before he can, cycle a bunch of character cards and chuck a bunch of red tiles in there. So I move, one reveal. I take a random because, maybe you'll lose the Hobbit and you get to be a little bit more efficient. But I definitely want to get down to Gollum, and I definitely want to get these, these companions out of the way. While it's maybe I could have played Horn of Gondor, but I think you also just want to run while there's, while he hasn't put more red tiles in. So I don't know. That's very fitting that Boromir being taken as a casualty causes Horn of Gondor to be discarded. Okay, so he plays Palantir, and now here's a big question for you, because I can hide and then move again, and if I don't get revealed on that next turn, then Shelob is the only thing that stops me, and it's a 50-50 that I don't get revealed on that next step. So there's a good shot that I win this turn if I spend that ring moving later. Or I see these 4 Palantirs, and I think that's scary as heck with Palantir of Orthancup, and I could also give him a ring and chuck out Palantir right now. Feel free to let me know what you would have done. I choose to hide and try to make it this turn, because I figure, if I move and don't get revealed, he plays 1 card and draws, and then I win, That's the hope anyway. So he plays Orc Patrol because, he wants to cycle cards, and there's that one anyway that might reveal me, so that would slow me down anyway. So he draws a 2. That's okay. It's definitely good that it wasn't the 2 reveal, but it's still one of the tiles that doesn't reveal me is out of the bag now. So now my move is 3 out of 7 instead of 50-50. So naturally I'll lose Legolas to that. And he redraws into Candles, which is a good card if you're trying to corrupt me anyway. So I move and hit an eye, so that's a bummer. 2 damage, so I take Gimli. And yeah, now here I am. And now he plays Candles, of course, because I'm down to that one last companion. So, and he gets 2 hits. So now I'm up to 6 corruption and a Hobbit here with 1 step to go. So what do I do here? Right, now I discard the Palantir because now I know I can't win this turn, so I might as well keep him from getting those 2 more redraws, So he attacks Minas Tirith. Let's see, he plays Bits of Mordor, and he gets 4 hits, so that's pretty good stuff. I get 3 back. That doesn't really matter, though. He's done enough damage that he's going to win this stronghold now. I'm not sure what he plays now. No card. Yeah, that makes sense. And he gets 1/6. So I'm happy to see that I get to hang on for another minute. Okay. Interesting. So he draws a card and he gets a Sealder's Bane. And then he plays it. Yeah. So take a moment to guess in the comments what happens next. He draws Shelob and rolls a 6, of course. Yeah. And that's it. That's game over. Just bye. No opportunity for counterplay. No second tries. Because there's no Mithril Coat here anymore. It's just you were at 6 corruption, and now we've doubled your corruption, and now you're dead. That's it. Bye-bye. Yeah. Yeah, he says he feels bad, and that's fair. That one hurt. Like, that physically caused me pain at that moment, like, that was just like, come on. Oh, because I went from like feeling like I had the game in the bag to just boom, you lose. Just like that, So that felt bad. But like, no, credit to him though. Like, he did a good job of taking a turn with 5 Palantirs, which most people would see as bad luck, and he used it wisely on trying to corrupt the Fellowship. And like, obviously he got lucky with this strong Shelob and rolling a 6 and picking up a Sealder's Bane. But credit to him because he put the resources to it, and yeah, he did it up like on lucky on purpose. Like he tried it and he got rewarded for it. So. Yeah, that's the game. Yeah, like, we started this turn by talking about whether he was conceding or not, and then he won. So just it's crazy stuff. I was a little bitter about it at the time, but now it's pretty funny in hindsight. Because what's the point of this game if you don't, have fun with the ridiculous part of it? So, looking at statistics. -0 on 6s, -2 on 5s for him, +3 on 5s, +2 on 6s. So combat's a little bit my way. I rolled a little extra character, a little extra Palantir, so that's kind of good, kind of bad luck. Yeah, pretty average across the board. A little low on H's, but a little high on armies, a little low on I's, a little high on Palantir. So, so I'd say for most of the game, just in terms of when the dice showed up and when the cards showed up, I think I had better luck until that moment right there, where he just, assassinated the Fellowship. So yeah, that's that. Thanks for watching. I'm playing game 2 against him later today, that being, what's today? June the 3rd. So, hopefully I have better news to share with you next time. Bye.